Hi, I'm Peter Hewitt, Virtual Chief Information Security Officer at Kobalt. Today I want to talk to you about the Essential 8. The Essential 8 was developed by the Australian Government. It was originally developed as a model to work in all businesses by the Australian Signals Directorate, which later became the Australian Cyber Security Centre. And it was based on a document, a very large and complex document called the Information Security Manual. They distilled out the top 8 strategies for preventing cyber threats and called them the Essential 8. It's a framework that's designed to adapt over the years, and it changes every year and evolves to meet the growing threat. And it provides a starting point for businesses who aren't sure what they need to do in terms of cyber security. And it's not a standard. It's not like an ISO 27001 or a SOC 2, but it is a solid, measurable framework, and sometimes easier to implement than either of those two. And it's technology agnostic. It's not designed around Microsoft or around Macs or around Linux. So what are the mitigation strategies? They broadly come into 3 categories: prevention, limiting impact, and data availability. And really the 4 areas you need to focus on in prevention are application control. Application control is about knowing what applications are being used on your desktops and devices and servers. Patching applications is about making sure that the applications you're using on a daily basis are the latest versions. In terms of Microsoft Office, one of the primary vectors for the bad actors is Microsoft Office macros, and the vast majority of companies never use Microsoft Office macros, so it's recommended to completely disable them in your business. And the final one is user application hardening, configuring the applications that people are using on a daily basis to limit the attack surface. Things like disabling pop-ups, disabling JavaScript in browsers, those sorts of things. In terms of limiting impact, the primary thing that's recommended is that administrative privileges are restricted. So make sure that only the absolutely necessary people have access to administrative accounts. Patching operating systems is another one. We'll all be familiar with Windows and Apple Macs popping up and telling us it's time to update. Don't ignore those messages, update. Multi-factor authentication is another key factor, and you'll have seen this starting to get implemented by a lot of the platforms you use on a daily basis. There's now legislation in Australia that Australian financial institutions need to use multi-factor authentication. What is multi-factor authentication? It's quite simply just having a second check to make sure you are you when you log in. And finally, under data availability, the main focus is regular backups, making sure that you've got your data stored securely in a way that it can't be accessed by the bad guys, so that if the worst does happen, you have a way to recover. At Kobalt, we partner with a company called Vanta. They are all about providing companies with a SaaS platform, which is a GRC tool, which is a government's risk and compliance platform. And it allows you to tie in all of those things into one view so you can see exactly how you stack up against the Essential 8 or against ISO 27001 or SOC 2 or any standard that you might be required to comply with for the business that you're working in. Kobalt, as a business, specialises in cybersecurity and compliance. We've been doing it for 5 years. We can do everything you need to help you on your journey, whether that be ISO 27001 compliance, help with the GDPR for consumer privacy information. So if that sounds interesting to you and you'd like some more information, we'd love to meet with you. Feel free to reach out to me at the contact details below, or just book a meeting in my calendar for 30 minutes and we'll talk about what you're doing with cybersecurity and how we might be able to help.